Hey, this is Brian Bigger. I have a new Mattel DC action figure, and that's the very first action figure in 2026. Not the very first one, maybe it is, but this is the DC licensed action figure made from Mattel. And so this is one of their first releases for DC character. I find this packaging very interesting. It's got a bunch of sounds and really cool, accessories to go with this figure. And you can do the touch me button right here. I'm not going to do that yet. I'll review that part a bit later in the video. And you can see it says right here on the back. I think they made a mistake doing that because that's really weird. This is supervillains. The nefarious DC supervillains never rest, always scheming and plotting. Their vile pursuit of crime and chaos wreaks havoc across the world. Superheroes, beware. Where's the supervillain? There's no supervillain. Batman is not a supervillain. Superman is not a supervillain. So where are they going with here? I don't understand what they're doing. So I think they made a mistake printing that. But other than that, that's what it looks like. It's got the classic logo. It came back since Gunn took over the license, or oversees the license, or whatever he's doing. Since Gunn took over and made Superman last year, that started showing up. So yeah, now without further ado, let's get him out of the packaging and take a closer look. Okay, now that I got him out of the package and you can see what he looks like standing straight up, we're gonna do a quick figure comparison so you can see the scale of it. Just get the idea of how big it is. Here I got McFarlane action figures. The one on the left is Martian Manhunter, and the one on the right is Hush Batman. So it looks like Superman is a little bit smaller than either one of them. So it does not scale with the McFarlane figures. And here I got Marvel Legends action figures. I got Movie Thing on the left and Gamerverse Punisher on the right. Neither can scale with Superman here. Now here I got Mavix, Hush, Nightwing, and Batman. And they're out of scale with Superman. So I don't know what scale this Superman is supposed to be in, but it does not scale with any of my collection. Now I'm gonna go ahead and go over articulation. When it comes to articulation, it can pose, just not very well, but it does pose. Now, every time I move something, it makes a sound. It's very cool for an action figure for sure, but the way those sounds do this, they're very corny. They don't work. You know, I like sound effects in action figures. I think it was really cool. But they did not implement these sounds correctly. So they just come off like really corny or just like goofy and not really as cool. You'll see what I'm going with here. So I make this sound when I move the arm. I can okay, let's just go with the articulation first. Hopefully I don't cause any sound. Okay. So he can turn left and right on a swivel, right? He looks up, not much. Down, nothing. So he cannot look up or down. He can turn left and right. That's about it. That's all he can do. I don't know if I can pop the head on. Let me see. No, I can't, because it's really in there. I don't know how to explain it in words, but it's really in there with the light features in it, so I don't want to break anything. So it does move arms up, like this, it can hold a pose. It's ratchety a little bit, but when you move a certain way, it causes the sound to go on. I think that's only when I press on the legs. You'll see what I'm going with here. But hold on a second. I'm going to go over the articulation real quick. And you can move like this way. Like that. See these sounds? But when you go the other way, it goes a little bit easier. Right? And then it does have single jointed elbows. Like so. And it does have a swivel at the elbows. Right? It does have a swivel. And it does have a swivel at the wrist, as you can see here. And then that's it for the arms. That's pretty good, considering with all the nice little features it has that I will show later in the video. And then the legs, I'm trying really hard not to cause a sound. The leg goes up about this far, which is pretty good, kind of. And oops, see, I told you, it's just making, okay. And then it has double jointed knees, right? But it doesn't act like double jointed, because this part right here doesn't move that much. It only moves this far. The top part moves a lot more, right? So it's the same thing with the other leg. And it does have, let me move this. It's so hard to move it without touching anything. And then there's a swivel at the boot. I'll melt you down to size, oh my God. So yeah, I keep pressing on this area because that's where the button, it starts to sound, but it also goes on when I move other places. So now let's go over the sound effects. Alright, so I press this button, its eyes start lighting up. Watch. Let's turn up the heat, Brainiac. And he has other voices, other phrases. So he comes with other phrases when you keep pressing the same button. Watch this. I'll melt you down to size, Metallo. Let's turn up the heat, Brainiac. I think that's it. Let me try one more. I'll melt you down to size, Metallo. Yeah, I think that's about it. So only 2 phrases, I think. And then it has the sounds go off when you squeeze on the legs. Very much like the old classic Superman from the Kenner toys. You know, the Superpowers Superman, where you can squeeze the legs and it does the punching action. That's what it's like with this. It's pretty cool. So press on this and watch how it does. Hands off, parasite. It's pretty cool. But my problem with the sound effects or the phrases is that when you press on something, when you press on something, he keeps saying a phrase first and then the sound effect. I prefer it to have the sound effect first, okay? To have the sound effect go on first and then do the phrase. Because this one keeps doing the phrases first and then sound effect, so it sounds way goofier than it should be. Yeah, so watch. It's gonna say a phrase and then the sound effect afterwards. I think that was a mistake they did. Metropolis needs me. You know what I mean? It's goofy. It would have been better if that, breaking through the wall sound comes first and then he does that phrase. You know what I mean? I'm fighting for truth and justice. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's kind of goofy. And another feature that's pretty cool is you can squeeze on the legs a little longer, and it does the whooshing flying sound. Watch.
Up, and away!
You can hold the sound for as long as you want. I'm just holding it. So if I let go, it stops that sound. It's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool toy for kids, basically, and adults like me. And it's nice. I really like it. I think it's a great little toy. So now let's go over accessories. It does come with accessories, which makes this such a really cool action figure. I'll just go over it. Now his accessories, the coolest part is his heat vision accessory. And you can slap it right onto his face like this. And it's actually really cool. I dig that. And then this, you can put his fist into there. And then, just kind of just place them on there. And it works just fine. And they fit on just fine. And it's actually pretty cool. And these chains are pretty neat, and they are transparent, translucent, or whatever you want to call them. And they rotate. Here, you see they rotate. And they're very pudgy, very soft. Pudgy. Very soft. And, yeah, they look nice. And you can squeeze on the thing and goes.
This is a job for Superman. This planet is under my protection, Brainiac.
You know what I mean?
You're coming with me, Lex Luthor.
And then, oh, I think I got the fist stuck in there. Well, here's what this fist looks like. Interesting. Alright, let's put it back here. There's that, and that, yeah, the heat vision. That's all you got for accessories. And it's a soft cloth cape here. And it's got batteries back here. If you don't like the sounds, you can take that battery out if you want to, so you don't deal with the sounds. But if you take out the battery, the light feature is gonna be gone. So
Let's turn up the heat, Brainiac.
So it says on its butt right here.
Hands off, parasite.
Let's get it closer. You see on the butt right there, it says 2026 Mattel. Brand spanking new.
I'll melt you down to size, Metallo.
Let's see if these accessories fit. It does not fit this head. Let me see the other one. Oh, you got it. There you go. There's the heat vision on Super Joker. Let me try the regular Superman. Let's try Brandon Routh Superman. Oh yeah, sweet. That is very cool. Nice. And then let's see if those things can fit on his hand here. Okay, his hands are a bit big. You can... I don't want to break these fists. Let me see. You could, but you have to really push it in. Like this. And then, yeah, there you have it. So, yeah, it's not perfect, but you can get it to work. So, yeah, this one fits on, like, perfectly. That's very nice. Awesome. Here's a Henry Cavill Superman with heat vision. That should have came with this accessory right here. Seriously, McFarlane, what's so hard with this? Like, why, McFarlane, why are you not making this? This is badass, dude. Just why? I don't understand. Just whatever. Okay, that's it for, the review. I'm not doing the posing with this guy because he's gonna make a sound every time I do the pose, which is gonna be extremely annoying. I forgot to mention that it does not have a lot of articulation. It has no articulation in the torso, no swivel, no diaphragm cut torso articulation, no ankle cut articulation, no toe hinges, no thigh swivel, and no hinge on the wrist. No butterfly joint. You don't need it, but it's not there though. I think that's everything. I think that's about it that these are missing. It's a pretty average action figure. It's pretty cool. It comes with a few features and all that. This is an actual action figure. It's the real action figure. Like, this is what an action figure is supposed to be. But it is, obviously, it's for kids. There's a big difference between this and this. Because this one, it has no sounds, no gimmicky things, accessories or anything like that. So it's just an action figure that looks nice. It's like a statue figure, you know what I mean? Like a posing statue figure. And this is more like a true action figure. So sometimes it's hard, it's kind of weird when I call this one an action figure, because it's technically, it's kind of an action figure because you get them to pose in an action pose, but it's more of a posing figure than an action figure. You get what I'm going with here? That's why it's really popular with adults. Because adults, generally, if they had to choose between this and this, they would choose this one because it's very artsy and it's kind of unique in a way. Because it's more like a statue, but you get it to pose the way you want it to be posed. That's why it is really popular over here. This one is, it's just, like an actual action figure. Like the true action figure. So anyway, that's all I got for now. Thank you for watching and hope you subscribe. And, hope I see you again the next time. Take care.